Well, you never know. There was a shark.
Like I said, more brief than normal. I usually have a lot of interesting things, at least I think they are, to talk about, but there's so many people on the river, and a lot of them don't know which end of the boat to point where it's supposed to be, so I really have to keep an eye on things. So we'll talk a little, and then we'll just keep right on moving. We'll try to get as much spray as we can. However, I don't want you going up to the restaurant having to sit in wet underwear for dinner. That's not the way I do it. That's the way the young guys do it. On the way home, I will destroy you. That's how I'm going to do it. Platform with the heat pump sitting on it, and that's why it's on a platform. They don't seem to run well after they've been underwater for a week or so. That's why they're up in the air. Same thing with the house on the left. It's up in 8 feet above the ground on the end of the house. They know they're going to get it again. They just don't know when. It's going to be probably December or January, but what year? Could be this year, could be 20 years, but they know they are going to get it again. This is the mouth of Sand Creek to your left. Sand Creek, the little tributaries, the steelhead that I mentioned, the sea-run rainbow trout, they can go up these to spawn. The salmon down here normally spawn in the mainstream of the river. And as I mentioned to you, they're going to spawn in October, November after we're gone. Down below us on the left, if you're driving a jet boat, it's overcast, there's wind blowing, there's glare on the water. If you don't know where these flat reefs are located, it can be very damaging to whatever you're running. I've even seen jet skis that didn't know where they were going, hit rocks, but it was this flat reef. If you look over there, you'll see it's kind of just hiding under the surface, and it's pretty dangerous. And it can be in the middle, it can be on either side. It's definitely something you need to know about if you're driving a boat. There's lots of private boats out here. They have to be jet boats to get up and down, of course. Last year I was talking about this very thing when a boat passed me, right where this kid that I spoke of. We're headed out of here. He's wanting me to stop up there at the rock pile and bounce the boat about 4 times before we get in there. And he used to drive one of these, so he kind of knows what he's sitting there on purpose so he gets the plane. But it's the way it goes. Downstream, there's a green hill in front of you. It's an ancient burial ground area. They did an archaeological dig there back in the 70s. They found remains thousands of years old there. The Indians were known as the Lowland Tacoma and the Kootenays that are buried there. They were all involved in the wars. The war started up near Medford around Table Rock. It went all the way to the coast. There was about 9,500 Indians that lived on the whole stretch of the river, men, women, and children, so not a lot of them. So the war didn't last long. They had cavalry after them and whatever else. It was pretty sad situation. How it got started was we had lots of miners coming in. Then we had 1851, we had a land grant act where anybody could come into the valley and get 600 acres of land for free just by showing up with a family. That didn't sit too well with the people that had been here for thousands of years, and that's where the war came from. They ended up on reservations near the coast. Not many were allowed to stay here in the valley. Those are the two bands that lived right in here. There were probably 20-some bands up and down the river. Okay, we're looking downstream. This is Whitehorse, making sure I don't have anybody in there. Commercial boat downstream, Whitehorse. And I'm on the radio for Powerboat. I'm on the way. I got a boat talking to me down there, and he says, come on down. Sounded like the sheriff's voice to me. Tying us up to get up there.
Hi,
smoking? Yeah, you can do it here. It is extreme fire danger. No smoking on the wagon or the walking trail. You can light up here on the beach, on here to your left. But I to work. They had 350 people for brunch, and now they're going to have 350 or 60 for dinner. So it's only about 187 degrees in the kitchen with no air conditioning. So these kids are learning how to work. And to be putting in, but on the right there's the mouth of Home Creek, the water's coming in. And we got a boat in front of us, we're going to follow them right in there. You got to be careful about getting too close to a raft, because this is not a good spot to turn the big boat around. You have to stop. That's where I'm saying, tip over, that it won't be a problem for you. A lot of us tip over here, even though it is not a dangerous looking place, they still do. And this is because you read about the gentleman that recently perished here. He was chasing his dog and he didn't have a life jacket on and drove out of his raft. That's right where it happened, right in front of you. Straight ahead of you, you'll see a bunch of logs down there, up on the rock, all left by the last flood. The river actually acts as a dam here going into the canyon, so it makes a big lake back up here, backs the river up. So if you look straight ahead, you'll see the logs down there, over 100 feet above the water. That's how high it gets. It's pretty amazing that it gets that high. See this boat? It's moving very slow here. And that's right where I gotta go. Geologists tell us the canyon was formed during plate movements of the earth.
I did.
And plate movements of the earth, they say 150 million years ago. Now, I know there's a lot of people that don't agree with that the rocks could be that old, but oh, hang on here, I got to see what's going on here on the left. They camp here a lot, and these guys are just resting. Just resting. Anyway, as I mentioned, the rocks, they say 150 million years old, and some people don't agree with that could be that old, and I don't talk about anything that's controversial. All I can tell you in my experience about the age of the rocks, when I started running boat here, all these rocks were here. I know, it's kind of hard to figure that one. It's still about 40 feet deep here in the Narrows, above you to the right, the Berningalice Road. If you need to stand to take a picture or something, or stretch your legs or something, that's fine. We're going to idle on down here and wait for the other 3 boats in our group. High above you to the left. That big rock up there, you'll see the green stuff on it, that's called lichen. High above you to the left. Try to remember where that rock is. I may talk about it when we get down there. But when I talk about it...
Yeah, it is. Coming up this canyon for sure.
I'll be on the right. To help you a little bit. Yeah, that big rock up there, I'll be looking at that. Movies filmed in the canyon, Rooster Cogburn with Captain Hepburn and John Wayne. All the Gatling gun scenes were shot here in the canyon. Then they went to the Deschutes River in Central Oregon to finish that. Also FBI, Route 66 and Gunsmoke. Matt Dillon jumped off the rocks above us here to the right, about 100 feet above you. And that was James Arness's stunt double that did the jump. It was a 2-hour episode called The River. You can still see it in reruns sometimes. Robert Urich was also here for a movie called Killing at Hellgate. And the most recent movie, River Wild, with Kevin Bacon and Meryl Streep. And they filmed that above here, below here. And then they went to Montana to the Kootenai River to finish that one. Okay, we're going to idle down here and wait for the other 3 boats in our group. So this is a great time. If you have a question, go for it. Okay, that's the end of the question and answer period. The big boats always turn around here at the bottom of the canyon. We're about 80 miles from the ocean. We do have little boats that go on down to Grave Creek. They won't be running much longer because the water's dropping, and it's not going to be running, that's for sure. I don't know how many more days. That's the long time. The little boat is 30 minutes here, half the size of this boat. With the sun ripple in front of us, around the corner, the Hellgate Bridge. Now, and it gets hot in here, boy. When it's sun, you need these rocks up. It's very radiating to heat. So let's turn around here, wait for the other boats. There we go. We'll be hanging here for a minute. Zigzag Creek to your left. They filmed a little camp scene for the movie River Wild on this sandbar in front of you to the left. Also, you see the madrone trees up there with the light-colored bark. They shed their bark in the summer, and they just got through making new bark. That's why they look real light in color. A lot of times they're kind of orange in color. That's the madrone. The viewpoint behind you and above you to the left. And if you look upstream, if you have a good imagination, right over the bow of that boat in front of us, there's a rock up there in the water. And you can see it looks like an eagle when the sun's on our right shoulder. Do you see the wing and the beak and the head and the eye and the tail and the feet? Can you see it? It's in the water up there at an angle. The only time you can see it is on the dinner trip when the sun's on our right shoulder. And you can see there's a little dark shadow on its tail. Every day it's going to go up a few inches. And pretty soon it won't be visible until, because of the sun angle changing at the end of summer. So no questions, not one question out there? Playing with us on the way down, and they'll be playing with us on the way home. It doesn't make any difference how wet you get, you're always going to be hot on a day like today. High above you, upstream, that big rock that I was talking about, up there, use the white sky for a background, for a silhouette on the right side. Some people think it looks like a baboon or a lion. Looking to the left, that big rock above the eagle up there on the right side. Okay, we got one more boat up here we got to get. Randy's in here. Hey guys. And we're going to buzz up at the top. High above you to the right, that's where the baboon trace is.
It's very steep.
Jack Russell dog or whatever he is trying to play with those big dogs. Watch him. He is so cute. Oh, he wants to play with the big dogs.
He doesn't want to get wet.
Sandy would get in the water, right?
What are you doing, Bob?
Oh, she can't swim.
Doggy, doggy, doggy.
Oh, he's having fun.
don't want the windshield here.
All right, how you guys doing out there? Oh yeah, they're all excited. Did I miss anybody? Everybody?